Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people.
And I sold a lot of state secrets and a lot of very important things that we shared.
For the people.
So inclusion is a national security imperative.
But the people
Do you know how many states make up the USA? I think 50 or 51, because I don't know if they count Hawaii as a state.
are retarded.
For my people are foolish. They know me not. They are stupid children. They have no understanding. They are wise in doing evil. But how to do good they know not.
And Samuel said, Has the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to listen than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of divination, and presumption is as iniquity and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has also rejected you from being king.
That is 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 22 through 23. Welcome to Reform Labs, where we do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false teachers have gone out into the world. My name is Kanoa Benz, and we're here for Roundtable, a live watching of the what some claim the most important election of our time. But with that said, real quick, we're gonna get to what's going on and stuff like that. But let me tell you who we have here. Sitting next to me, we have the man with the beard of John Calvin, the captain, Adrian Cookson. Adrian, how are? Hey, dude, we're matching.
Yeah,
I didn't even
repping the same thing. You didn't notice?
No, I didn't even notice.
Wow.
The screen.
Wow.
That's so funny. We planned this, folks.
I think you're as blind as I am.
We planned this. All right, Adrian, how are you doing this evening? Was that a late on my intro? How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing better than I deserve. Thank you.
All right, who do you think's going to win the presidential election? Not who you want, but who do you think will win?
Sadly, Trump.
You think it will be Trump?
Yes.
I do too. I really think Trump's going to win it this
sadly
time.
because he doesn't appeal to God as the ultimate standard of truth. So yeah.
All right.
Doesn't appeal to God as standard.
Well, now let me introduce someone new we have here, but he's not new to us, out in street preaching, and he's been a great brother out in the field and destroying the arguments of the left, which is an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
But he also makes it look really easy doing it as well. So across from me, the young in the faith, but bold as a lion to defend it. Say it with me. Let's go, Brandon.
Where's the thing? Come on.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. All right.
This is what happens when we don't. This is what happens when we don't have Chad here. Brandon, that's awesome.
I'm like, man's no more.
Brandon, how are you doing, sir?
More blessed than I actually really ever deserve.
Okay.
There you go. That's a
he's
nice
like too
twist.
blessed to be stressed.
That's a twist on
Hashtag
better than I
pumpkin
deserve.
spice Christian girl.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
It's my girl Fall, guys.
Who repping the
Gross.
Christ is King shirt? Hashtag that post mill. Brandon, how are you doing this evening?
Again, more less than I deserve.
Okay, and who do you think's going to win?
Probably Trump.
You think probably Trump?
Probably. I mean, unless we get that last minute where everything comes to a standstill, and then, yep, and then here comes Democrats, and there come all the blue states out of nowhere.
I'm with you. I think Trump's gonna. I think he's gonna win it.
Hashtag Dusty Devers for 2028.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
dude, maybe he will. So yeah, getting into that first before we do that, I just want to do a quick thank you. A huge thank you to everyone who stood outside the polling places today and all the days before for the early voting, and a huge thank you to everybody who went out street preaching.
Oh, we got Kirby Crawl up in the chat
And
Mattia
we
as well.
we should have brought Kirby here with us, our fellow Dusty Devers voter. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for everybody who went out
Yes, thank
and
you. You guys
did
are
that, who
awesome.
went out, reasoned with people, preached with people, stood outside with signs for hours. People who gave up time with their family, people who gave up just their own personal time to go out there to try and rescue these babies. Just a huge thank you for obeying the words of our Savior and Lord Jesus Christ, who said, what you did for the least of these, you did for him, and what you did not do for the least of these, you did not do for him. But thank you for going out there and trying to rescue these children. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. It's been really encouraging. That's something that it was really encouraging for me, was the amount of people that went out and did that. It's needed. So there's a lot of things that were very discouraging for me through this couple of weeks, but there's a lot of things that were super encouraging. That was one, and I'm like super grateful. And then a very big thank you to my fellow Norman Statement abolitionists who are not willing to compromise with evil, and they did not go with the fear of whatever we're saying by voting for Trump, but who instead wrote in Dusty Devers, you guys are the Christians that America needs.
Amen. Yep. And
So-
so we had a request for Brandon to speak into the mic. Sorry, Brandon, it's not your fault.
No, it's okay. It came.
It's my fault.
No, it kind of came like directly at me.
No, it's my fault because I didn't have you turned up on the sound.
Oh, so am I good back here then?
He had you muted.
Yeah, your audio.
Oh man, do we have to redo the intro then?
Nah, no.
Start it up.
Ended.
How blessed are you?
More than I deserve.
There you go. And who do you think's gonna win?
Trump.
Are you too blessed to be stressed?
Hashtag white girl fall pumpkin spice lattes. Taylor Swift, okay?
Oh, gross.
I know. I don't want to be a.
Check out
Come
the
on,
gear
man.
that he's wearing. We need to have some like Reform Labs shirts that Brandon can rock like that. He's got the post mill cap on too. All right. So where are we at? Can you pull up the where we're at on the Amendment 3?
Yeah, just here, and I need window capture and go here.
I'm about to find out before you do if our boy Johnny and Adam
they're
throwing it in the group chat. The last I saw, it was at 53.9% were for yes for Amendment 3, and
let's see.
46.
So 11% reporting, 52.6, 47.4 yes and no respectively. Let me refresh that. I don't know if it automatically refreshes, but every time I refresh, it screws up the position. Amendment 2, Amendment 3. Yeah. Quit moving on me.
Wait, scroll down a little bit more so I can see it. I can't see it on my screen. There you go. Keep going a little bit more. A little more.
Yeah, nobody can see it because Brandon's
Brandon's face is in the way.
Brandon's thing is in the way.
Why is he here?
Because I was
Let's get him out of
invited.
here.
He just moved.
Yeah. Bye, Brandon.
There,
See you guys. I'll just do commentary.
Let's go,
from the
Brandon.
back.
Put him at the. There we go.
There we go. Because I was invited here without your without your knowledge until the last second.
Adrian, for some reason, just thinks he could do what he wants.
Yeah.
I blame Josh. Josh has been
So,
been a bad influence for him.
47.4.
I hope Josh is watching too, so I can block him.
Hold on, let me check the chat. Is Josh up in here? Where's my little chat dot?
And that's 17% reporting already. So, I believe in order
no,
to.
that's 11%.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's what it's. Well, this is Fox's, so I don't know
Oh.
how up to date they
Yeah,
are.
other ones are saying 17.
Okay. Cool.
But I think they need what? It has to just be greater than 50%.
You'd have to be like, what?
I think it's.
I don't know.
I think it says it on the thing.
You have to be like a 51-49.
Over 50% of the vote needs to be. Sorry, I'm like spitting.
For like a
I'm
finalized-
disgusted just reading this stuff. I was like,
Stupid
like a
baby
finalized-
killers.
I was like, 300,000 people are for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it needs over 50%. In other news, Florida's what was it, Amendment 4?
Yeah, it got shot down.
Yeah,
But
it got
I
shot,
mean, not
but
by a
not
whole lot.
like, well, yeah, I wouldn't even call it shot down. I'd be like, it's like stubbed its toe. Yeah.
I mean, they should be rejoicing at the fact that it even got shot down, but like, we really shouldn't have anybody.
I was going to say
for
they should be
child murder.
like. Here's the thing: is if like, I would not be setting off fireworks.
No.
and rejoicing over that kind of a like. That's disgusting. Because here's the thing: that the reality for them is there's still going to be a huge amount of children that are going to be slaughtered literally the next day, tomorrow. Right, and that's the same thing. If Amendment 3 does not pass, guess what? There's still going to be abortions in Missouri that are going on because abortion is not
Banned.
totally banned in
Yeah,
Missouri.
they just have rules and regulations.
Right, which can easily be broken because of the way that they do those rules. Which gets me to kind of my whole point of this is what happens when we continue to compromise. Compromising got us into this situation. It will not get us out of this situation. The reason why the numbers are so high is because we taught people to compromise. Why? Because we started compromising as Christians. We still compromise with abortion. All the people that were like, oh, we got to go for Trump. We got to go for Trump. And I'm like, why? Trump is wanting to do a whole big tax push with IVF. And then, so how many babies, like it is talked about, and I don't have the numbers up here, but you could do your research on IVF. But if this goes through, it might be worse than Roe v. Wade was.
And
All right, because you got to remember.
What's the stat? Like every 30, 29 are killed.
Yeah, something like that. For IVF. All right,
Yeah.
so like this is not. And yet we ignore that. We say, well, we could have Kamala. Oh, so
what's the difference?
Yeah, what's really changing here?
Yeah, what's changing? It's like when Senator Mary Coleman said to me, she when I talked to her on it because she was she's a pro-life senator who voted no on our abolition bill for equal protection for the preborn children. And I was talking to her about that, and I said, if you're not going to do this, I said, then we're going to call for you to be voted out, which she didn't really make the cut. From what I heard, she is now leaving the district. Praise God.
Did she not botch up something in a pretty bad way?
So
Yeah,
she,
from what I heard.
but here's the thing is, okay, but you know what she said? She goes, well, then you might get a pro-choicer in. And you know what I looked at her and said? I said, oh, I was like, I might be worried about that. If you could explain to me what would be the difference. And you know what she said? That was perfect timing. Yeah, exactly. Nothing. Because she's going to answer that. Because abortion, she knows that abortion's still going on in Missouri. Every time they go, oh, we got to remove the abortion bans on the thing. We got to remove all this stuff on there. What's really banned? It's just accepting clinics. So it's just changing the locations on there. But this, ultimately, and here's the thing is we get so afraid of the pro-choice that seems to only show up every 4 years or so. Because they don't show up when we try to ban abortion in Missouri. Remember, we talked about this years ago. Me and Adrian were talking about this. The pro-choice didn't show up to stop us to stop our abolition bill. Didn't show up. Didn't speak out against it. Nothing. But you know who did? The pro-life movement.
Yep.
Oh, you know who did the other year we did that? The pro-life movement. Oh, you know the one? The pro-life movement.
Let's end abortion, but like not fully.
Yeah, and so the pro-life movement has been the one to stop us for 4 years, and then all of a sudden, election year comes on, and then all of a sudden the pro-choice shows up, and they're like, ah, and then the pro-life goes and starts attacking goes, see, this is why you need us in here. So we go, oh, you're right, and we vote them in, and then what happens? 4 years, then they start attacking us, and then all of a sudden, pro-choice comes up again. They go, oh no, we'll fight them. You guys need to keep us in so we could do that. We vote them in. We go, we were right. We vote them in. And then they're sitting there hammering at us for 4 years again. And then we're sitting there going, why can't we end abortion? It's the pro-choice movement. No, it's our fault. It's our fault because we keep playing into the game. This is what I was talking to Brandon earlier. I said we're like playing Star Wars here. I'm like, literally, it's Palpatine. It has the the droids and the clones. And it doesn't matter who wins because he wins. So it's literally you have pro-choice, pro-life, and they're both.
You got like the head member of the pro being like, good.
Yeah, good. Very good. It's you know what I mean, and it's stupid, and yet we keep buying into it every time. We let the fear get to the best of us. We go, but if a pro-choicer gets in, they'll what?
Change nothing. Nothing will
have
change.
Abortion illegal in Missouri, like it is right now.
Yeah. I'm just more worried.
Guess what? Abortion is still on the rise in Missouri under these pro-life movement things.
Right.
Oh, by the way, how's that been working out for the pro-life movement for the past 50 years doing it this way?
It's only gotten worse.
Yeah.
And it's only going to continue getting worse. It's what I worried about because I know if this does pass, God willing it doesn't, a lot of those over there at the Illinois mill is going to end up over here. And it's just we're going to see an increase, not necessarily in the amount of abortions, but how frequent it is over here in Missouri.
Well, yeah.
Since Planned Parenthood, you're not allowed to actually like go in and have it taken care of, but you can buy the pills. But if this gets through, then we're going to see like in-home abortions.
Well, yeah. Well, not even that. They're already doing the in-home abortions.
Oh, I meant
here.
at the clinical abortions.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. So the late-term abortions will be what? Sorry, I'm going away from my mic. The late-term abortions are what's really going to be the differences, but it's not going to be. It's going to be difference in location. So instead of them all doing it at Hope Clinic, which it's illegal for them to do in the pro-life laws, and yet how many Missouri license plates do we see over there? That
more Missouri license plates than we do see any other state plates.
But don't worry, it's illegal for them to do that. Oh, but I forgot. There's no punishment for when they do because the pro-life movement doesn't believe in any form of punishment for them.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the what? Are you talking about the woman?
Women get a free pass.
You're a
at murder.
victim. You're a victim. It's okay. Don't worry about the thing you're about to murder. It's not a victim.
Right. Yeah.
It's absurd.
Right. It's ridiculous. Did we get another update on what's going on? We're probably going to be on here talking about random stuff, or you're going to hear me ranting the whole time because
we are now at 16% reporting.
Throw it up on the screen.
54.3 and 45.7. So the no's are coming back up, as we can see.
All right, keep this in mind.
I'm gonna
sorry,
zoom
go ahead,
this
Adrian.
in, but yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, so this is sorry,
making funnies.
No, I was just reading a text.
Real quick, so we got Kirby in chat talking about Trump.
Yeah, what's up, Kirby?
And how long is it? Is it a whole thesis?
So Kirby says, and he's also threatened to go against states who have laws that that are too restrictive on abortion. So it's almost like he pushed abortion to the states, but only supports states' rights if they have less restrictions on it.
Right. And that's literally, he's, all right, here's the thing is, with the interview that they asked, they said, oh, who did you vote for, or what did you vote for in Florida, yes or no on the amendment? And Trump didn't want to answer.
Silence, man.
Right. What is that,
Crickets again, crickets.
He's like, I don't want to talk about this. Well, that says a lot.
Yeah, you've already spoken. So.
Right. And that's why you didn't get my vote. Here's the thing is, I wanted to vote for Trump, but I'm sorry, I'm not willing to compromise with evil. You're
we don't have to throw a lot in with evil.
You're pro rainbow group. You're pro the murdering of children. So that's right. There's a standard for that, and here's the thing is, it's a lot of people are like, you're looking for the perfect candidate, then you better wait till Jesus comes back. No, I'm appealing to God's law as the standard, and God's law tells us what a person in a leadership position is supposed to be. and it doesn't say that they have to be perfect. So like a couple of things that you see, and I should have gave this Adrian to throw up on the screen, but that's okay. So they cannot be a foreigner. Okay. So yeah, we can't have like Putin running.
Right.
We can't be voting for Putin over here. Can't have a large amount of wealth. So they can't be seeking to gain a lot of money. They cannot have multiple wives. So is any of this so far calling for perfection? I think not. They must learn to fear the Lord. And they must grow in the fear of God. So that would assume that they're already not perfect if they have to grow in it.
That's like any other Christian.
You're right, exactly. Must be wise, understanding, and experience. Yeah. Lead our country, fool. Like, you know what I mean? That's not what we want. Yeah.
Haven't seen that in a while.
They have to show wisdom. They have to be trustworthy. So if somebody's telling us, here's the thing, even if Trump were to all of a sudden, like, let's say a couple days ago, he would have, right before the election, he would have been like, okay, I'm a completely abolitionist. Could I trust him?
Oh, no.
No.
It'd still be dope, though.
Right. Yeah.
He would have to sit in the background and
True.
for us to wait for him to prove himself.
Right. Yeah. It's
because more than likely, someone who is claiming to be an abolitionist, like at the last second, they're gonna have to sit on the sidelines, and they'll understand that. They'll have to understand, hey, what I was doing in the past, that wasn't cutting it, that wasn't flying, and I have to sit on the sidelines. I'm content with that. I understand I have to prove myself.
Right.
But if you start throwing a fit,
right. Well, and here's the other thing too with that. It's like what Brandon said. We'd be like, "That's pretty cool, Trump."
Yeah.
But we're not voting for you.
Right.
You know, as you should be that position anyways, because the Lord your God who created you and gives you breath commands that of you.
If you don't appeal to God as your ultimate standard.
Yep, you're left with absurdity. Look at us, Brandon. We're finishing each other's sentences. All right, so the next step, okay, and this one Mary Coleman struggles with.
Ouch.
Shots fired.
Hates bribes.
Whoa.
She openly told me that she's getting a politically correct bribe is what I call it. She goes, my campaign is being funded by Missouri Right to Life, so she goes, I'm gonna vote whatever they tell me to anyway, so it doesn't matter what you say to me right now. Okay.
I'm pretty sure there's something in Deuteronomy that talks about not taking bribes.
Yeah, and following up with that, what Brandon was getting at, they cannot show partiality.
Yeah.
That's the next one. All right, again, with the ones that we're already naming all this stuff, and I'll throw up the verses where we're getting this from so you guys can read it for yourself. Out of what we just read, is that calling for the perfect person? You can't take bribes. We have normal police officers are not supposed to do that stuff. Should we not have any police officers? We should not have any standards for our police officers because, the perfect person. No.
They are the law, Kanoa.
Yeah. All right. Here's the thing is they cannot be cowardly. That's the next one. Cannot be cowardly. And then they cannot turn aside from the law either to the right or to the left.
Mm-hmm.
And the law that is being referred to is God's law.
Right.
And that's not talking about that they have to be perfect within the law. That's talking about that is the standard by which they go to. So they can't all of a sudden go, well, I read the Quran recently and the Book of Mormon.
Man, we've had so many of these similar conversations today out there.
Yeah.
Tell me about them.
Okay, so
go ahead, Brando.
Share a story.
Let's start
story
with
time with Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Choo choo. So there were particularly two instances that happened today.
Choo choo.
I don't know. Choo choo. Let's go.
Wait,
Brandon.
you're stealing that's Thomas the Tank Engine's thing. You can't steal that.
I have a shirt.
We're gonna do this. This is gonna be like the yes thing. We're gonna be like, let's go, Brandon.
Okay. All right. Better than taking away from the tank engine.
All right, go ahead. Tell us the story.
We were particularly out at Antonio Middle, and we've had there were a couple of moms out there where, especially when there was one across the street, and she was just eyeing me down. And I guess I was just preaching the word, and she looks right over me and tells me to shut the F up because I don't have a vagina. And I go, okay, so man, what you're saying to me is that because I don't have a particular organ, I shouldn't have a say in whether children get the right to live. She goes, yes. And I go, okay. So what you're saying is it doesn't matter what anybody thinks except the woman, and you're okay with murder. And she goes, yeah. I go, so you're admitting you're a murderer. And she's like, I like child murder. And so there was that one. And then we had the lady where you were at who had the women's rights shirt. And she comes over and she's like, well, there can't be a God because why would he give children cancer? I'm like, okay. So bad things know God. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. God no exists because
because evil things. God must not exist.
Yeah, Greg Bonson had a great response to that he always talked about. He goes, the problem of evil, for them to even assume the problem of evil, they have to first assume that there is evil. And he goes, and how are they doing that without appealing to the Christian worldview?
Right. Because, well, if you don't appeal to the Christian worldview, how can you know what's good and evil?
Right, and then the moment you start appealing to the Christian worldview to say that there's evil, then, you're already appealing to a standard.
Right.
So then you're already appealing to God.
They unwittingly appeal to the Christian worldview as it is.
Yep. Yeah.
So this lady comes out and she says that, and he looks over at this woman and goes, so ma'am, you're okay with child murder? She's like, yeah, I know it's a child, and I'm okay with murdering children. And like, you're gonna say that right there in front of your kids? And she turns right around to this van and goes, hey Hudson, honey, I love murdering babies, and then gets right in her van and leaves.
Yeah, and I hollered out, I projected out to Hudson, I'm like, Hudson, you should be afraid. You should be terrified that your mom is okay with child murder.
Yeah.
My boy Hudson. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hudson.
Prayers for Hudson.
might have
Prayers
been like
for Hudson.
6 or 7 or something. I don't know.
Child services come.
Dude,
get
who
Hudson.
does that? Yeah, seriously. Who looks at their little kid and goes, just so you know, I like murdering children.
Yeah.
Let's just put it on the record that if you have children and you tell your children that you're okay with murdering children, you should not be allowed to vote nor have children.
Hudson, years from now, as he's sitting in the therapist's office, he's like, my mom's real cruel.
Yeah. It's just like the time when you were out there and that you were preaching to that lady and kid in the back seat, and she's like, I'm okay with murdering kids. Yeah, kill them kids.
Right, and the kid
in the back seat, he's like, what? I'm a kid.
Yeah, it's just like...
Or that one kid on the bridge. Save them babies.
And the
like,
next patient after Hudson is that little girl. She's like, yeah, I think my mom's a psychopath.
What about that psychopath chick that was driving with her mom in the side seat and the kid in the back, and she's like, it's not a baby, it's a fetus. F you.
Yeah, dude. Every time we've seen that, this is what these are the people. Go to the results again. I want to show you so far the amount of people that is all right, so 600 what do we got?
Yeah, 610,864 have voted yes.
So almost 611,000 people in Missouri are among those psychopaths that we see that are going, murder those kids, and they go, I know it's a baby. All right, and here's why, again, guys, if you're looking for a book on how to deal with this stuff, R.C. Sproul, I want to say, used to have a good book about abortion, and it's really not. Yeah, shout out to R.C. Sproul. And his book is not really relevant anymore. When people ask me for recommendations on it, it's because during the time he argued, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we just need to argue that it's a human, and that's that settles it." No.
Yeah.
Because they all agree it's a human. So that's why, his arguments is all like, here's how you try to prove that it's a human. It doesn't matter to them. They don't care. They don't care it's a human.
I can show it that it is a human, and if they even agree, some of them don't care. There was a video I was watching on the way back from getting my delicious chicken sandwich that needed more ranch.
Where'd you go to eat? More ranch?
I needed more ranch. It was all at the back of the sandwich. I'm disappointed.
Where'd you go?
Burger King.
Oh,
that's where you failed.
Yeah, I went.
Dude, I was hungry.
I went where
Hold on. I got one for that. I got
to hear it.
That's what you should have brought the R.C. Sproul out.
Hold on before you play it.
Yeah, that's why you gotta keep one in the ear. Fatality.
Oh. Dude. But
is that my phone?
No, that's mine.
Oh.
You need to mute that.
Yeah, you need to mute that. I didn't
We're live.
I didn't invite you here so I could hear your cool ringtone.
This is live stream etiquette.
Yeah.
This is live stream etiquette.
That's
my
even
guy.
worse.
All right, so those in the chat, you see what we're got to deal with here, okay? We got to deal with a guy who doesn't know live stream etiquette. You
Yeah.
got to mute. You got to mute your phone.
And then you know what, folks? You see what I have to deal with.
I'm their favorite idiot.
Wait,
He might have to deal with
Favorite.
Brandon, but I have to deal with Adrian.
You got 2 idiots to deal with, man.
well, okay. So speaking of dealing with Brandon here,
Yes.
so our boy, he did a fantastic job engaging with reason. Like, I got quite a few GoPro video footage of him engaging with people, and I'm just like, when we got there, like 6 or 7, at the
In the are you talking about the Windsor Intermediary School?
well, I'm talking about when you were engaging with people in Imperial. Like you were trying to engage and encourage them to have.
Oh, yeah.
like, what's your foundation?
Yeah, Windsor Intermediary
It's
School.
been a long day for Brandon,
Dude,
Yeah, well,
Dude, your
I mean-
face when he saw you, you were like,
I was trying to think, man. Like,
you know,
the gears
you
are turning, the
literally-
AOL dial-up is
you
going.
literally looked like you were hurting yourself.
I was having an aneurysm, okay?
We got
We should have told Kirby
we
to
have
drive
another-
up here.
no,
and
we
then
got
throw
another
him
book
in.
from Kirby.
Did we?
What's your guys' stance on the heck?
Adrian, you gotta blow them up for like 45 font, man.
What the heck? 40, yeah, I know. Misoprostone? In general.
He's talking about some kind of
I'm gonna have to Google that. Okay, so an argument I've heard for its access. Let me get closer. For its access is that one of my coworkers uses it for non-reproductive. So is that like a birth control thing?
yeah.
Okay, for non-reproductive
Sounds like
purposes.
a Plan B kind of thing.
And she uses to essentially keep. Okay, you just updated. So, morning after pill. Yeah, no. Yeah, so birth control pills, morning after pills, all those have abortifacient mechanisms within them.
Okay, so let me ask real quick, because I was having a debate with a guy at work. He's like, so the Plan B pill? I go, yeah, that's an abortion. He's like, no, it's not. It doesn't kill the baby. I go, if it forces a miscarriage while you're pregnant, it's killing the baby.
Right.
I go, it might kill the sperm in it, or like it might cause a woman to menstruate, so it kills the eggs. But if it's already fertilized and it's killing the egg while the baby's in
Yeah.
there, you've already conceived life at that point. So therefore, you are murdering a child.
Yeah. And same thing with birth control pills. Birth control pills do pretty much the exact same thing.
Yep.
Sure, they will. There is a mechanism within birth control pills that will hinder the sperm from fertilizing the egg. But if
it's
that
not-
sperm does fertilize the egg, then there's another mechanism in there that would kill that.
Yeah.
It would kill the child.
Yep. So it's a no-go. But I think what Kirby is saying is he's talking about for women who are not engaging in
Yeah, for non-reproductive purposes, and she
Right.
uses to essentially keep herself alive. Should misoprostone, sorry if I'm butchering that, be banned in
You speak Italian to
entirely,
me?
yeah,
or should it be heavily
regulated or
regulated
to prevent it. Yeah.
from being used for abortion, but still allow women who use it for non-abortion
So,
reasons?
so what
I would suggest she find a doctor who can
How would you use something
prescribe
for a
something
non-abortion
similar
reason?
that would not have an abortifacient.
All right, I was going to explain that real quick. With it. So some women use it
I will be right back.
because it helps them with like for like certain periods and stuff like that, and for other stuff as well. So sometimes their doctors recommend that they take like certain birth controls and stuff to help them with certain
Hormonal issues. Yeah.
that they're having. And so they're saying, and so there's some women who that they're not having any kind of sexual relationships at all or anything like that. So they're like, there's no chance of me, getting like that it's not aborting any baby.
Well, right, but
So-
what do you
so
do
what-
when you do start having relations and you need those to kind of level out your hormones, though?
Well, right. And so, and that's what it's kind of like where I get what they're saying because they're like, well, technically I'm not doing any action of murdering because I'm, but the problem is I don't trust our society that is telling women, oh, here's how you fix this stuff. We're talking about a society that wants to be like the not so great country of China, who says that they don't like, they limit the amount of children people can have.
Well, yeah, and it's unfortunate that they even do that because they're kind of genociding themselves out of like existence that way.
And
because
before, the CCP are great.
Because you
Wait, are we on TikTok?
No.
Okay. Oh, whatever, on TikTok, then screw them.
Yeah, you have because you have these less and less younger generations and older generations not being taken care of, and they're just dying. So it's gonna come down. I think I hear about that a lot in Japan as well, where that's happening, where they're having less and less kids because there's all these taxations on these children. It's like, God forbid I have a child before I kind of lose my livelihood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kirby says that they're like hormonal regulation type thing.
Yeah. So I would just I wouldn't recommend them because like
she needs to get hooked up with something that doesn't have an abortifacient.
Right. Because I think it's like down the road, I think we're gonna see that it's causing more issues than good. I'm from that stuff.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Any other? Do we want to do a quick check, double check on the thing?
Switch over to that. So we are. Where's my mouse? Did it change? Where's my mouse?
Yeah, it changed. We're almost at 800,000 for
All
yes.
right.
That almost went up 200,000.
22% reporting, 55.5, 44.5 respectively. My goodness, 798,000 voted yes, 640,000 voted no. Come on, guys.
That's 750,000 people are okay with murdering children.
And keep in mind, even the 600, almost 650, and that's me being generous, really generous, looking at that number, 650 that are voting no for this are most likely only doing so because they didn't like the taxes. Almost like I would say like a huge portion of it is
wrong.
not even about abortion. They're like, I don't want to pay, I don't want tax, or it had to do with the transgender stuff, but not abortion at all.
It's what I got, especially at work. We had a guy over there, and he's like, "Well, I'm okay." He's like, "I think abortion is wrong. You shouldn't kill babies unless there's rape or incest." And then he's like, "I'm like, well, how can you justify that if you're raping somebody? Shouldn't we take care of the rapist and not the baby that did nothing wrong?"
Define take care of, just so that people understand what you mean. Should we take care of the rapist?
Are we on TikTok?
No.
Okay,
you can say,
so take care of the rapist.
Yeah.
Take him behind a tool shed.
yeah,
Murder him to death.
No,
with-
not murder.
It's not murder. 'Cause
No.
it's
Okay,
just.
It's justified killing.
Okay, yes, we justify.
He gets the death penalty.
Yeah, we
Capital
justify
punishment.
deathing him to death.
Yeah, brought out by the state.
Sorry, I just wanted you to be clear on that because you're like we should take care of him, and some people would be like, like take care of.
Yeah.
like,
No, come on, you can't be that stupid. We're talking about
Rock
a
him to
rapist here.
sleep.
I just
wrap him in a blanket.
It's better to be clear, dude.
Swaddle him.
People will clip that video real quick.
Yeah, I know.
And go look at Brandon the Christian.
Okay, let me
Brandon, the
reiterate.
abolitionist,
When we
the
have
theonomist,
when we
he's
have
okay.
somebody who rapes another person by God's law and standard, that person should be put to death.
Thank
Right.
you.
Sanctioned by
We
the
don't
state.
take care of rapists in a good way.
Well, I mean, we take care
Swift
of them.
hang.
Well,
Straight to death.
yeah, you take care of them in a good way, according to what God says. That's a good way. Remember, we use
Words
God
matter.
as the standard.
Words matter.
Words have power.
So we don't take care of the rapist in a bad way. We take care of the rapist in a
What's
good
going
way.
on with the Trump stuff?
This is the story of a girl.
I don't ever.
Sorry.
Don't ever.
Balance of power, Senate. So this is Senate stuff. New majority, 51. House. So this is just talking about like the amount of Republicans versus Democrats that are being voted in the House and Senate. This is from Fox News. Joy. You wanna tell the story about the crazy coward tantrum throwing fit guy with the truck and the music?
Oh, the guy with the broken arm. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, that's why he was crazy.
Yes, because of his broken arm, because he's a coward. But
that's how he broke his arm, because he was a coward.
yeah, because he's a coward. He loves murdering children, so he's a coward.
No, he doesn't love murdering children. That's what set him off. Though.
No, that's his claim because you attacked his pride. So
yes, I did.
we again at Antonio Middle. This is going to be probably the highlight of our stories because that's where the most cowards and God-hating, baby-hating people were at.
Sorry.
I mean, that's fair.
Keep going.
And so we're preaching, and all of a sudden this guy pulls up in his truck, and he opens all four of the doors to his truck. He starts blaring at death metal music where we're trying to get drowned out. So we're like, wow, only cowards would sit here and drown people out who are preaching the truth of God to people. And, he's not listening as we're calling him a coward. But the moment Adrian goes, man, anybody who would drown out the truth must love murdering babies, and this dude's head whipped around so fast. And he's like, no, I don't love murdering children. He's like, I may not agree with the murder of children, but I think the way you guys are going about it, by talking about God, when people are just laughing at you and don't even care about God, I think that's a terrible way of doing it. These people are over here quiet, and you should just shut up and be quiet too. It's like, well, if we're preaching the truth in love, why should we be quiet? Yeah. And then it got, of course, my favorite argument, the rape argument.
Yeah, I knew.
Exactly the moment he goes, "Okay, are you married? You got a daughter?" And I'm like, right. Here it comes.
Yeah, he asked me, "Are you married? Are you married?" I'm like, "What? What does that matter?"
Yeah, you don't have to be married to have a daughter.
Right. So he asked you the same thing in regard to, "Are you married?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "No." And then he's like, "Well, do you have kids?" And you answered, "Well, I'm not married, so I don't have kids." And he's like, "Well, you don't have to be married to have kids." And then it's like, then why ask why are you married if you were going to lead into do you have kids?
Right. Just get to the point.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Because if it doesn't matter if you're married or not, you can have children out of wedlock. Sure, that's a thing, but that's sinful.
Right.
See, when I was street preaching and somebody started doing that, they're like, "Do you have this?" And I go, "Sir, do you want to just get to the point? You're going to bring up the rape argument."
Yeah.
And he's
12-year-old little girl getting raped.
He's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Yeah, this will be real simple for you." I go, "We should follow what God says, that we should give the death penalty to the rapist, not the innocent baby." I said, you believe in the death penalty just like I do, except you believe that the baby should get the death penalty and not the rapist. We believe that the rapist should get the death penalty. What we don't believe is that children should pay for the sins or the crimes of their fathers.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah. And normally when I said that to the one guy on there, then he's like, "Well, I just
so this guy.
That's normally what they do.
Yeah, like that one lady climbing over the seats, throws her car in the park in the middle of 141.
800,000 of those kind of people.
Yeah, that's disgusting. So I was talking to this guy, and he looks at me and he's like, "All right, well, what if the rapist was your brother? What if your brother?" I'm like, then he would still be held to the same standard if he were not my brother.
Yeah.
I'm not going to show partiality or leniency because he's my brother.
Yeah.
It's like, it would be hard, sure, but I gotta live by God's standard, what God says. Because if I don't do that, I'm showing partiality. Deuteronomy 16.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's not like we sit there and go, "Yeah, sharpen the knife. Yeah, let's get him." No, it's, we don't. It's just like what God says. He doesn't want to see anybody perish.
Right.
But God, yet He does say that He's going to bring justice, and He's going to do, and He's going to punish the wicked doers. Yeah, we don't have to take a delight in it. Doing that is a sad thing on there. But at the same time, we will uphold justice.
All right, so it looks like we have 118 people watching us on X.
Nice.
Yeah, so thank you guys. I'm going to have to pull up the X stream to check out the chat.
Right on.
Yep.
So it goes with this other lady, the lady with the pink hair, the person that you would think that would be like, women's rights. And she's like, "I hate abortion." I'm like, "Thank you. So do we. Praise God." Well, except in rape and incest. I go, "So you want to punish the baby instead of the rapist for what the rapist did?" And she goes, "You know what? You're right. I'm sorry." Gets in her car and just leaves.
she admitted to.
Yeah, she did.
All right, but no, that's great because so that's what
awesome.
Literally somebody came over to and that's why I was really trying to push a lot of Christians to say, "Hey, we need to be out there. We need to be out there. We need to be out there." And when were we doing this? We were doing this months ago. I was saying we need to be out here and doing this because this is when you're going to change people's minds. All right, but again, it's just like when we go out to we preach at the abortion clinics. Okay. We get maybe 30 seconds, Lord willing, 30 seconds to try and talk this person out of murdering their child and say, "No, please don't murder your child." After they had a month to set up the appointment, depending on where they come from, because sometimes they're driving 5 hours away, even more. All right, so they already said, "Okay, made up their mind, I'm going to do this. And the whole month, I'm going to do this." Then they drive the hours, "I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this." They get to the clinic, and then we only get 30 seconds to try and talk them out of it.
They've convinced themselves months in advance to go do this.
That's why we need to be out there reasoning with these people, talking with these people before they even, start thinking about doing the appointment or before they even go to the place. That's the front lines is what we're doing out there street preaching. And that needed to be done way before. Like I'm extremely. This is what I said. Where it's like my heart was like, you know, where it was like this the whole time. Is because I was extremely grateful and encouraged by seeing all the Christians going out these last couple weeks beforehand and really preaching and doing what they could and calling even other churches who were ignoring the Amendment 3 stuff and are trying not to get involved. And they went out there and said, no, this is wrong. And then they ended up, you know, protesting outside that church and calling them to repent. That was great. But it's like I wanted to see that months. I wanted to see that earlier.
The thing is, we got way too many cowardly Christians. Like, as much as I do love the people where I go, I don't want to name names.
Don't.
I'm not. You know, we've only got like what 3 or 4 people that go there, including myself, that actually go out.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple more people convinced to go. I got 2 other dudes that want to start coming out with us. It's just a matter of getting, you know, their work schedule's kind of working itself out.
Yeah.
One guy has a bunch of kids, so I kind of want to give him the leeway there, but
it's
babies are being murdered.
But we're only asking what we normally do when we challenge churches and when we challenge Christians. And I told other churches to do this because it makes it real simple and, you know, and it really holds people accountable to it, is just give up one Saturday of the month, just one Saturday to go out there. I tell people, if you're wanting to do this at your church, what I always say is pick one of the Saturdays a month, either the first Saturday, the second Saturday, or the third Saturday, or the fourth Saturday. Pick one of those Saturdays and then do that continuously. Same time, same Saturday of the month. And that way when you have somebody go, oh, I keep forgetting, you can tell them what I tell some of the guys. They go, oh, I just keep forgetting to do it. I say, oh, okay, well, pull out your smartphone and put it on your calendar for the next month, the next month,
What's
the
a
next month,
calendar?
the next month. You know what I mean?
It's what you use to strain things.
And that's what I normally tell
It's your
people to do.
noodles, not. It's your noodles.
Oh,
right.
colander. Oh, calendar, not colander. Sorry. Sorry, Canal. Go ahead.
He's like,
Yes,
I'm done.
this is what he's gotta deal with.
I finished.
Pray for me. This is my group. But those guys are out there preaching.
Yes, at least we are out there.
Yeah.
So
We had a
pray for
lot of positive feedback at Grace Chapel. Is that what it was called. We had a lot of positive feedback.
Granted,
there.
there was that one Marine guy though.
Yeah, bro, that guy was nuts.
Yeah,
that guy was something
you want
else.
to talk about that?
So
you're a better storyteller than I am.
I'm really
wait,
not.
real quick. Let me
you want to
let me finish this stuff. Well, before that, if you're wanting to get out and get involved, pick one Saturday of the month, pick the same time, and just go. And I hate to tell you this because it's going to be really rough for you, but you might be doing that by yourself for a year. That's how it was for me. And then I had a few other people to team up with, and that was helpful. And so there's like maybe like 5 of us. Okay.
And then Kano kicked me in the pants, and I went out there.
He just called you a coward, and that was it.
Yeah, that's
what happened to me.
Yeah.
I said you have a cool mustache and beard, but what's the point?
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a
If you're
coward,
gonna be a coward, yeah.
if you're gonna be a coward, just shave.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you're gonna be a coward, you might as well have your face match.
Yeah.
Lose all your theology if you shave your face. Okay.
So, but just so you know, unfortunately that's what it might be like. It might just be you and 5 other people, and it might be like that for years. Okay.
Don't be destroying his ants or anything.
Here, pull him off the camera if he's gonna be dancing around over there.
I got stuck.
Okay. So pick a Saturday, tell your church, and continuously to talk to them. Like I normally would send out a email to my church and other Christians, and for some days, at least I try to. You probably want to do the Monday before to let them know, and then update them that Friday and say, hey, tomorrow we're gonna be doing this. To get people to go, I would have to go and pick up people sometimes. I'd say, hey, I will drive you if you'll go. And sometimes you got to do that until you get these guys in the habit of going.
You get them out a couple of times, they kind of get used to it. You know, I know it's really nerve-wracking the first 1 or 2 times that you get out there because you're not knowing what to expect. Then you have pretty intense God haters at times. It's like, whoa, it's like when I really first went out with you guys down to Planned Parenthood and we had the gay lesbian Jew about like trying to throw hands with Kirby.
Right. And yeah, and I know, and I remember that because I remember you were like, this is so intense, and we're all who've been doing this for years. We all look and we go, that's a typical Friday. We're like buckle up, Brandon. This is this is baby stuff.
I was along for the ride.
31% reporting, 54.6, 45.4 respectively. 921,011 versus 766,720.
And again,
disgusting.
keep in
My
mind,
goodness, guys.
this is that 760, or most likely the large amount of that is people who don't even care about abortion. They just didn't want to be taxed.
Yes.
Or they were more on the transgender
That
side.
was that story I was finished with that guy at work when I told him that like, hey, it would pave the way and you'd be paying out of your taxpayer dollars for abortions to be funded for children's section. She's like, whoa, I have to vote no on it now. Well, no, it wasn't for the life of the
Alright.
child.
No,
It's so
I
your
think
money
you
doesn't go to
misspoke.
waste.
Sorry.
Because you were saying the 921,000
Oh,
are
no.
the ones that don't want to be taxed.
No.
But you misspoke. It's
yeah.
the 766
Sorry,
are the
that's what I
ones that
meant.
don't want to be
The
taxed.
ones who are voting no, majority of the ones who are voting no, even then, it's not even because of abortion.
Right.
It's mainly other stuff, which is awful.
Yeah, they don't want to have to pay for someone else to murder their own child.
Yeah, they don't care if they murder their child. They just don't want to pay for it.
They say, yeah, you can murder your child. It's your choice.
No.
But you gotta pay for it.
Yeah, right. It's like
It's coming out of your own pocket. It's not coming out of mine. Sorry, my earbud is falling down.
You're good. I'm trying to pull up a Bible verse, and of course my phone's freezing. But here's what. All right, so if you try to ignore what's going on, and you try to say, okay, well they can do it, but I'm not going to be involved in it. You're involved in it whether you want to be or not by your actions. You're going to be doing a performative contradiction. Because here's what it says in Leviticus chapter 20, starting at verse 1. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, say to the people of Israel, any one of the people of Israel or of the sojourners who sojourn in Israel, who gives any of his children to Moloch, shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. I myself will set my face against that man and will cut him off from among his people, because he has given one of his children to Moloch to make my sanctuary unclean and to profane my holy name. And if the people of the land do at all close their eyes to that man when he gives one of his children to Moloch and do not put him to death, then, this is God talking, then I will set my face against that man and against his clan, and will cut them off from among their people, him and all who follow after him in the whoring after Moloch. All right, so did you hear that? And if the people of the land do at all but close their eyes to that person when they go to kill one of their children, when they go to sacrifice, that's what abortion is. It's sacrificing. They're sacrificing it to themselves. In America, we say that the people, us, we are the ultimate. We say we are the ultimate standard. We get to choose when life begins. We get to choose when life ends. We get to make laws that we deem right. It's about us.
Yeah.
And that's wrong. And that fails. That's how you have a country that messes things up. We have to have God as the standard. And here's what God, the God who created everything, the God that everyone knows who exists, according to Romans chapter 1, that God says that if anybody closes their eyes, turns their heads, when we're out street preaching and we're showing these images that we have on the shirt, and we're showing it in the signs, and we're warning people, we're saying, hey, this is what's going on literally down the road. This is what's going on all around us. These babies need help, and people do this and go, no, thank you. Don't worry, I'm against it. What does God say? What does God say about that person? And even when I hear Christians, what I challenge, they're like, don't worry, I'm a Christian. I go, oh, so what are you doing to love your neighbor as yourself? What are you, as Jesus says, doing unto others as you want others to do for you? Because if you or I were in the situation as these babies, we would want somebody out here trying to rescue us, so we must do that for them.
Right.
And so when I'm challenging them, they're like, oh, I'm not really. Okay, I don't do it. Okay, I don't do it. Okay, well, here's what in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11, it says, take no part in unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. So do not partake in evil, but expose it. So good, don't partake in evil, good. But you're to expose the evil that's going on.
Yeah, what's that other half you're not doing?
Yeah, so you gotta, you can't be silent about it. Jesus was clear. He said, what you did not do to the least of these, you did not do for him.
Mm-hmm.
He says, if you love him, John chapter 14, verse 15, if you love him,
You will keep my commands.
you will keep his commandments. What does he command? That you do unto others as you want others to do for you. And
Right.
would we be okay with how our church is acting? With abortion going on, the murdering of children, the sacrificing of children going on around us? Would we be okay with how our churches are acting? Are we okay with how we are acting? Would we be okay if we were in the situation of these babies with how we are acting right now? With how our church is acting? I think not. So then we must do that for these babies.
I don't get how we could sit here like a couple hundred years ago we had all the abolitionists come out and we fought against slavery. Like, these are humans. We don't hold them as slaves, but we can look at the baby in the womb, the most innocent that we have, and sit here and say it has no right to life. It doesn't have intrinsic value.
Right.
Yep.
Sorry, I gotta fix them.
Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on right now. So we're at 33. Didn't really move that much, but I mean,
No, it went
like-
on the
like 10,000 more on the
no side.
about 10,000 and 10,000 more on each side. So we got 53.8 and 46.2. Brandoni's being moved around.
Sorry.
I don't
Why
think
was
he
there
moved
a
at all.
complaint that he wasn't centered?
No.
You got to get all of me, okay? There's a lot here. Broad-shouldered and broad-chested.
Yes. Oh, speaking of which, they're speaking of all that stuff. You almost got married today, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, tell us about that.
Okay, so I saw this lady, right? And I was like, man, that's a pretty good-looking woman, right? And she walked away, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, she's so pretty, and we could, like, get married. And as quickly as she walked into my life, she left.
Keep going.
Oh, that's it.
Wait.
Sorry, Kano was...
I'm trying to have Adrian fix something. All right, hold on. Say it one more time.
So there was this lady, she got across, like, oh wow, she's like really pretty. And she walked in, because when we were preaching, we're like, hey, God is our standard. Vote no on Amendment 3, because, you know, if you love God, you'll keep his commands. What does Jesus say? You know, all the
And she gave
stuff.
you a wink,
Yeah,
I
she
think.
oh yeah, oh my gosh. Sure enough, I was like,
Yeah,
oh.
she nodded in your direction.
Yeah, she did. She kind of looked in the general vicinity of my area, and I was like, man, that woman loves me. But as quickly as she came into my life, she left. So, as it stands right now, ladies, I'm single, and you can flirt with me because I do not have a ring on.
Nice tie-in. See, I
If
told
you
you.
know-
I told you.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Brandon, didn't I tell you? If you
Yep.
mentioned the ring thing,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it cracked Kano
It's
up.
factual though.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah,
Pray for these guys. Pray for these guys.
yeah.
I need it.
Pray for me, especially right now, because I'm burning up. My goodness.
That you don't have. The goodness that you don't have. Okay. Let's go check on the president.
Let's go to.
Let's go see how are we going to be judged by God. Let's find out.
Well,
Which crapshoot are we
Welcome to
getting?
our very positive live that we're doing.
It looks like horribly.
No, this is just on the house stuff. Go to.
We're going to the presidential.
Oh yeah, I can go to this here and then scroll
All the way up.
Governor, U.S. Senate, U.S. Pres. Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
apparently Mike won.
Yeah, Mike Kehoe won and Josh Hawley won.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean,
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, these guys are not for the equal rights and protection for
No.
all human beings.
yeah, Howie may have good policies,
But it's not worth sacrificing babies for.
right? But
it's
nobody that is running appeals to God as the ultimate standard.
We have not one candidate running for any kind of office in this nation that is, besides Dusty Devers, obviously.
Well, he's not running though.
Well, I'm talking about for any kind of office, whether it be local or not.
There's nobody incumbent. There's nobody.
Well,
current,
right,
yeah.
that fits the standards that God says for somebody to be running for an office.
Here, hold on. Move the camera. Oh, there we go. Thank you. She knew what I was talking about.
Oh, you need to put it on, buddy, okay?
No, because I was joking about that.
that.
Because I know that those thirsty girls are out there. Ha ha!
He's not wearing his ring, so I can flirt with him.
I was telling my
Shots
wife.
fired.
I was telling my wife, I'm like, hey, I don't have. All right, here's the thing is, so I work with reptiles. Let me
Let's take
let
a
me
quick
tell you my
sideline here.
Yeah,
my
give
excuse.
your excuse
All right.
for not wearing a ring.
So when you're working with reptiles and you're like feeding them and stuff like that, they target things that are on your hand. So if you're wearing a ring,
They'll take the ring.
Yeah.
no, they won't just take the ring.
Oh, they'll take the finger too.
They'll take it all.
This ain't trying to take me
I
out
wish
earlier.
they would just take the ring.
Yeah. Your monitor about to try taking me out earlier. I was up here looking at your little cube, and it's all of a sudden, bam, on the glass. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was not expecting it. He
Dude,
just
I'm telling you, you've seen Jurassic Park, right? Those velociraptors.
right. The closest relation to a velociraptor, cassowary.
Fatality.
I believe it. All right, but anyways, okay, real quick while we're going on, I'm just gonna do a quick book shout out. If you guys are wanting a good book to read that I would say is probably the best that you should read with how to deal with abortion and at least be updated on what's actually going on.
I'm gonna add a book cam so you can show that up, but keep going.
It is the Post-Roe Reformation by Kayla Suderman. Once he gets that book camera going up, I'll show you guys up close of it. But I highly recommend that book for you guys. And to our shame,
It's gonna be that camera there.
okay, to our shame, in Missouri, to our shame, she talks about. There you go. She
Yeah,
talks
you're gonna have
about.
to move it around.
She talks about what happened in Missouri, how the pro-life movement stopped us from completely ending abortion and providing equal rights and protection for all human beings in Missouri. It was the pro-life movement that stopped us, and she talks about what happened
Yep.
in this book. So it's a great book to get to if you want to. It's kind of a thick book if you're not a reader. We've been trying to work with her on trying to get it on audio for those who like to listen to books. So we've been working on that as well. And if you're kind of going on the topic, another book, throw that back up there, Adrian, will you?
Yeah. You may have to adjust the camera a little bit.
Yeah, that's okay. Founding Sins by Joseph Moore. There you go. Sweet.
With a little bit of the
so this kind of talks about like a lot of the Christian. Thank you. This
you can
talks
also
about.
pull the camera back a little bit too.
Yep,
to get
you're
more
good.
of it.
Throw it up on the big screen.
It is on the big screen.
No, I mean like,
Like the other one, the other big
yeah.
screen.
Let me just talk to. Yeah, let me talk. Hey guys,
Laying your head on the
you
desk.
see what I got to deal with? All right. And that one kind of
Sorry.
talks about like what happened with the founding of America and how there was the Covenanters that came in and said, hey, there's something wrong with our Constitution. It should say Christ is King at the top. Oh, and what's with the stuff that says that slavery is okay, that you will end slavery in you'll abolish the slave trade in 20 years? They go, no, it should say slavery should be abolished now because it goes against what God says. And those guys were barred from the Constitution Convention. But so there was a group of Christians, like what we are trying to do now, that's saying, hey, we should probably submit to what God says since he created the world. I think he knows how to run a nation.
Do we run into a lot of these cowardly Christians due to maybe, I know it kind of circles around to eschatology a little bit now that we don't have the post-mill, all these post-mill abolitionists out there. We got a lot of these like pre-mill or dispensationalists, not trying to call anybody out.
Right.
But when you have that kind of worldview that says, you know, God's going to put everything under his feet at some point anyway, why should we bother doing anything? Because God's got to get it handled. We kind of run into this sense of complacency and cowardice and just like, God will handle it. Why do we got to do anything?
Well, and we maybe not even like being a coward, is they just don't feel like it's their calling. They go, oh, why would we fight? Why would we fight trying to, rescue these children when, we just rescue them and then they go to hell anyways? I've heard people say that.
Well, right.
Because, all right, here's the thing is, because you're called to do unto others as you'd want others to do for you.
Right. It also says in Scripture to cry out for those who have no voice, to stand up for
Rescue
those who
those,
cannot defend themselves, rescue those that are being led to the slaughter. On and on and on.
Do we have anything in the chats, by the way?
Despite me saying the dispensational pre-mill, we do know a handful of people that do go out there with us. So,
What are we? Do we still have a lot of views on X?
Yeah, we're still running like 118, 119.
Cool. If you guys have any question, if you guys are
Yeah, I already put that in there. That
yeah.
if anyone has any questions, we can address it.
Yep, feel free to ask questions. We're kind of dealing with the topic of abortion or God's law in general. If you have questions on how God's law applies today.
Yeah, and if you want to say anything absurd, you can Venmo us $500.
Yeah, if you want to say something absurd, if you send us money, apparently we'll let you.
Yeah.
I was like,
you want to treat us like garbage? Send us money.
I was like, we're not desperate. Not at all. Please.
We're dying over here.
Adrian's up there going.
Yeah. I got insulin to pay for, guys.
Literally to keep him alive. If you guys don't send money, now I'm acting like here's my pro-choice argument. If you don't give me certain things, I'm gonna unalive him.
Free snacks only go so far, guys.
Oh goodness.
All right, check up on the
Yeah, I got that pulled up here. Let's go ahead to that.
What are we at now?
So Amendment 3, 41% reporting, 54.6. Man, this is close.
I mean, we're only trailing behind 200,000.
All right, this is disgusting. Because
Yeah.
again, look at that.
1 million.
1 million. Sorry, 1 million
Missourians.
1
are
million
okay with child
Missourians.
sacrifice.
Yeah. Now, and here's the other thing. Here, I'll get to my. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory, but I was like, here, my conspiracy theory too.
Do we have a tinfoil hat in the background somewhere?
So a lot of people, I keep hearing stories about like certain situations where they're like, oh my wife was stuck on the table, and the doctor was like, oh, I wish I could help, but and here's the thing is, I believe those situations are truly happening, but I think that the doctors are doing it on purpose. I think that's really what it is. They're fear mongering, and they need to be held accountable. Because if they're playing around
Missouri
going,
law
that's malpractice.
law, yeah, they're sitting there going, the bans, it's the abortion bans. Guys, we have showed time and time again, if you watched our videos.
I'll go ahead and pull
why don't you
that
pull
up.
up the trigger law?
The trigger law does not even say it's murder, does not even say that it's ridiculous. And if you had that happen to you, you need to look into going after those doctors for malpractice.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is. And I'm tired of hearing that because that's disgusting that they're letting your wives, they're letting your loved ones sit on the table. And here's what I wonder is those doctors are smart enough that they probably know how long that they can bleed for. And so they're probably like, she has 7 hours. I'll let it wait for 4. Right. And just go, oh, the laws.
Oh, this is from 2017. Is that the most current?
No. Oh, wait. No. When, no, Roe v. Wade was overturned.
Water bottle.
No, it might have been. Sorry, I'm like losing my.
This is 2022. Okay. So yeah, this is the current one from the Public Health and Welfare Committee. So this is 188.017 RSMO. The Right to Life of the Unborn Child Act, limitation on abortions and when, affirmative defense, contingent effective dates. So this section shall be known as to be cited as the Right to Life of the Unborn Child Act. Notwithstanding any other provision of law to the contrary, no abortion shall be performed or induced upon a woman except in cases of medical emergency.
Wait, say that again, Adrian. Please say that again.
So no abortion shall be performed or induced upon a woman except in cases of medical emergency. Any person who knowingly performs or induces an abortion of any unborn child in violation of this subsection shall be guilty of a Class B. They don't even label it as murder. So
it's a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. Guilty of a Class B felony, as well as subject to suspension or revocation of his or her professional license by his or her professional licensing board.
Now, keep in mind, that it doesn't say that any punishment for a woman who takes a pill. It doesn't say any woman who performs abortion herself.
A woman upon whom an abortion is performed or induced in violation of this subsection shall not be prosecuted for a conspiracy to violate the provisions of this subsection.
So in Missouri today, and even tomorrow, let's say we beat Amendment 3 tomorrow, women are still under the pro-life laws can go and get an abortion. They could go and murder their child. They have a free pass to murder in the state of Missouri.
Right.
In case people don't know who are listening on X and other places, abortion is still legal in all 50 states. Do your research, people. Stop listening to these pro-life places. They keep saying, we did it, we did it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. There's no equal protection for all human beings.
Yeah, they play the Dora Explorer song. We did it. We did it. We
Yeah.
did it. Yay, we did it.
That was like the most like sad version I ever heard.
It was.
There was no enthusiasm.
I'm sorry. I'm not Dora the Explorer.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I don't.
But here's
either.
the thing: is guys, check, do your research. You could go to Abolitionist Rising, and they do a great job. Those guys are the ones leading and all the abolition movement. I highly recommend that if you're considering becoming an abolition, that you read the Norman Statement so we can all be consistent. Go through the Norman Statement. That's why I did that big shout out. Yeah, I did that big shout out for the Norman Statement abolitionists. That's what we hold on to. We agree with the Norman Statement. And it keeps abolitionists all. Since the movement is now growing, they're starting to become people who are claiming to be abolitionists but don't believe what abolitionists believe. So I highly recommend you guys check out the Norman Statement, and you could go to abolitionistrising.com and check that out. And also they have information on there that talks about your state. If you live in whatever state you live in, you can click and see the status of your state regarding abortion. They'll show the laws and stuff on there.
Yeah, so simple Google search, Norman Statement, just click that, and then scroll down, and then there you go. So it goes through the preamble, Article 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it's underneath the anagram of Gates, so it's gospel-centered, aligned providentially, through the church, engaged biblically, sought immediately without compromise, and then, so those are like essentially the core, the first 5. And then national repentance that we call for, equal protection, or criminalization. So, so when it comes to criminalizing equally, like, we're not focused on the woman. We're focused on who is guilty of murdering the child in the womb.
Whether it's the woman or whether it's the evil man who's
whoever
forcing her.
coerces,
Yeah.
whoever brainwashes, they're the guilty ones.
Yep.
So,
all right, bring us up to the for the president. Let's see how let's see our judgment status of America.
Let's see how our trash bin is doing.
Which wicked leader is going to be carrying out God's judgment on our country?
So on Amendment 3, just real quick, so 39% reporting, 54. So yeah, we're still at a
Still
million
trailing.
versus 9. So still trailing. So 55.43% for Trump, and then 43 for Harris, respectively. So
all right, where is it at? Sorry.
So yeah, so on Trump, 55.43% versus 43.17%.
So far our prediction, and to be clear again for people who are, so I mean we predicted that Trump was gonna win for this one. That was like it was kind of like, I don't know.
Just watch like toward the end.
Now I was gonna say,
Harris.
unless we said and this is so we don't get banned. What we're saying is that this is the most fair election system. Now, with that said, that we're saying that if the graphs flow normal, Trump would win, unless, of course, there's a
fraud, cheating.
We will say it is still underneath the providence of God, because we as Calvinists, we believe that God is sovereign,
Yeah, of
and
course.
God works things out according to his glorious will. So even if we see a last minute for a certain party,
just take rest.
valid or not, it's still God's providence.
Right,
because that's judgment upon our nation for not seeking to honor and glorify God and him as the ultimate standard. So God says in his word in the Old Testament that if you follow what he says, if you appeal to him as the ultimate standard, you teach what he says, his commandments, as you rise, as you go to bed, as you're going to and from work, you teach those around you, you meditate on his word, you meditate on his statutes, his precepts. As David says, the precepts of God are beautiful, wonderful, perfect. He meditates on the precepts night and day, David says. God says that if you do these things, observe them, teaching people around you, not just you yourself, but if you're married, leading, guiding your wife, biblical patriarchy, your children, biblical patriarchy, and those around you, you being a man of God.
Biblical male headship.
Yes.
For those who don't like the word patriarch.
Yeah.
Patriarch.
Yeah, don't get triggered. Don't be all blue-haired, okay? Now, yeah, there are some people that are blue-haired that are theonomous. Not talking about you. Talking about the typical one. But God says that if we do those, blessings will come our way. But if we don't, cursings will come our way. And we live in a day and age that we only think that the blessings of God are going to come forth. Like, do we really think that the blessings of God are going to be coming our way when we go against what he says? When we are compromising? When we are saying, hey, we're complacent with child sacrifice? When we are being cowards when it comes to, yes, we know the child in the womb is made in the image of God. Human being from the moment of conception. You cannot refute it theologically nor biologically. And when we say, image bearer of God, human being from the moment of conception, but we don't say anything about it, when the church is silent about it, like with Prop 8 back then with homosexuality.
We just got banned on YouTube.
Hey, whatever.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. YouTube, the alphabet mob, the mafia. Where's your Don?
All right, here we go. Real quick. So,
yeah, we
the abortion,
blessings when we are sinning against God.
The abortion amendments in Colorado, Maryland, and New York have passed.
Oh.
Shocker.
Wow.
Gee.
So there's still Missouri, Arizona, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, South Dakota.
We got a total of 9 states that are.
I think
Florida,
they had them in almost all.
Florida, that amendment failed, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the only
praise
one.
God, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing is, like, praise God for that, but shame on the Christians over there. Shame on us as a church, because tomorrow there's still going to be babies being mass murdered in Florida, even with that amendment failing. That's what people don't understand. And then also, like, did you see the numbers of it? Did you see the numbers? It was still like 50% that they had. You know what I mean?
I mean, I know it was like just kind of like barely. It was like a neck and neck thing.
Right. So that's still millions of people in the state of Florida that was okay with it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's why you have to be out at least one. All I ask, one Saturday a month.
It's not even for the full day either. It's only for like a couple hours that we're out there.
Right.
You know? And we're out there like lunch rush hour.
Right. Pick the busiest time, find the busy intersection.
It's really more encouraging to other Christians too. When you have the one Christian out there standing out there doing it, you're more likely to encourage others to get out there with you.
That reminds me. So I met a guy today, Zach.
Oh yeah, the broken leg guy.
Yeah, gimpy guy. Oh, we got a note passer.
Here, hand that over. That
All
might
right,
not
so Zach, this is a shout out to you.
We're
brother.
getting information from control.
I may be the man in the chair, but Kano's wife is the control tower.
I'm
Anyway.
just hearing noises, so it's natural for me to look to my left.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm like, what's that?
Yeah. So shout out to you, Zach, if you're watching this right now, later on. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you meeting you. I pray that your broken leg heals quickly. Yeah, he was gimping around quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sent me.
It was kind of pathetic watching him go downstairs.
I gave him my phone number, and he sent me a text saying Gimpy.
Gimpy.
Yeah, so that I would know who it was, and then
Dude. the story that he told us. So I think he works in what did he say he did? He took like
Hold on, is this a story that he would want to be shared?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I
It's
was
not
about
an
to
embarrassing
say.
story. It's really epic.
Yeah,
He should hold on. We should probably wait 5 minutes so he can hear, so he has a chance to text Adrian and go, no.
Okay. All right. Real quick. We'll hold off on that story. I'm gonna text Zach, tell him that we're live just in case, and just let him know, hey, we're kind of talking about you, brother. So.
I'll just encourage you that he actually stopped and dialogued with us and was like, man, I'm so in agreement with you guys on this. This is so awesome. I was like, dude, we're just appreciative that we even have people come out here that agree with us. Like, even a simple walk by and a thumbs up and, God bless you was just, it's awesome to even hear that,
All right, and like something that I thought was sneaky. I don't know if you guys saw the new like vote yes signs, but the new vote yes signs, they're like stop taxes.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you didn't see that right out the
No.
road. Yeah, they're stop taxes. I was like, come on.
Vote yes, and you'll stop taxes on something that would be publicly funded, which is taxes?
How does that work?
It's just as logical as saying, I know that my reasoning and senses are working because I can see things.
I see books.
Because I can read a book.
I see books on my shelf.
Yeah.
Grand Oppie.
What is the grounding
Idiot.
for the molecule that is 1,000,000 miles away from you? I can read books.
I can see books on my shelf.
That's
so
I count
you
from
seeing
my
books
logic.
grounds the existence, holds together everything in the universe. Okay, cool. That's your grounding. All right.
All right. But, and again, can we pull up the thing again? Where are we at?
What do you want to go to? Amendment 3?
Oh, yeah, Amendment 3.
Okay.
Oh, are we closing the gap?
Looks like a little bit. We were down 200,000 before.
Yep, we're closing.
I mean,
the gap
still
now.
to all the God haters and the babies haters out there.
We're gonna see one of those.
Yeah,
for us.
Yeah, right. Praise be to God.
It's when Jefferson County comes out now.
Yeah, right.
Boom, shoots it up. 42% reporting. That's okay, but think of this, okay? So that's 1,000 people. And like I said, majority of the 1,000 that is voting no, voting against the putting abortion into our state constitution is most likely only doing it not because of abortion.
It's because they don't want their taxpayer dollars having to pay for things.
Or
they care more about their money and their finances than they do children.
Yep. Like if they would have just done this amendment thing that just did abortion, they left out the transgender stuff and they left out the tax stuff, it would have passed easily.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
Yep.
That is a problem for us. This is why you need to get your church involved, and if not, then you need to go. What are you gonna tell Jesus? Oh, sorry, I didn't go because my church didn't go. Like,
if your church doesn't go or doesn't preach out against something like that, you leave that church immediately.
Yep.
You go find yourself a better church. I know there's not really, like, especially within our area, a lot of reformed churches around here. You have like the few good ones here or there, but I don't know how you sit here and you try to talk to these people into seeing what God really says, especially when they're so in their own complacency or they're in their own little world. It's what R.C. Sproul had said in one of his things that, it's like us being on a reservation and you have the one guy that goes out and preaches, but all these people in the reservation are so scared of being persecuted because this guy gets persecuted. They ostracize this guy and get rid of this guy because he's the outcast because like, hey, we're good right here. We're good right here. Don't worry about that. And then when you live in that, it breeds, again, cowardice. It breeds
compromise.
Yeah, compromise. And then that's why we're idolatry and compromise, and that's why we're at where we're at right now.
Yeah.
If the church would stand up and do what it did and the church was ruling, we would have a theonomistic society. Like the church would be running everything as it should be.
Well, it wouldn't be that the church would be running everything.
I mean,
well,
if the church imposes the laws,
right? So the church holds the governing authorities accountable to what God says.
I know what you mean by that, but
Right.
just to be clear for those who are
words have meaning.
for the people on X that are not getting what we're talking about, because the separation of church and state is a Christian concept.
Right.
All right. So what Brandon's talking about is because of us preaching the gospel and because of people being converted over. What happens when majority of a nation gets converted over to Christianity? What would that look like? Well, of course, they would naturally put Christian laws. We'd say, hey, yeah, if somebody rapes, what does God's law say about that? Okay, well, if he's gone through due process correctly, then he gets the death penalty for that because he viciously harmed an image bearer, right? So God says that warrants the death penalty, capital punishment. Okay, so if we're all majority of Christians and we get converted on that, would we not want that? Well, of course we would. So that's how those laws get established. So it's not like the church is ruling, but the church being the church and going out and preaching to the lost, and the lost, by God's grace, being converted in. Okay? Jesus says, if you love him, you'll keep his commandments. All right? And Jesus says, go therefore and make all disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that he commanded. Well, what did Jesus command? Yeah, what did Jesus command? Okay, well, he teaches us what's commanded. So therefore, as we're doing that, and what happens if we have senators repent and convert to Christianity, and they're the ones, making law? Will we say, oh, don't worry about making laws. You could keep making unjust laws. No, we wouldn't do that. We'd say, hey, you need to repent and follow King Jesus, so therefore you need to make those laws. So it's not that the church is going to run it. All right? It's the church is doing the duty of preaching to the lost. And what happens when those lost become found? Well, naturally, the laws would get established because of that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, what happens in society flows downstream from what the church preaches. So, if the church is going to be out and about, then that presence is going to be seen, and society is going to be reflecting that. I mentioned it before. Look at Prop 8 when it comes to the rainbow stuff.
When did Prop 8?
I'll just go ahead and say it. If we're going to be kicked from YouTube, we're going to be kicked from YouTube. So Prop 8, when it came to homosexuality, the church was silent on it.
Yeah.
They're calling it, apparently. They're saying that Amendment 3 is going to pass.
No.
If you guys are listening, it's looking like Amendment 3, they're going to call it.
44% right now. I'm going to go ahead and
refresh because it just jumped up again. Yeah. And they're showing the states that are there. And Jefferson County had majority for it.
Oh.
Or no. Sorry, I had the colors mixed up. No, thank God. Okay.
So Jefferson County was majority against it.
Yeah. Phew. I was
Praise
like,
God.
Dude, I looked at the wrong color. I saw the red right next to it. I was gonna flip out. You're about to see me storm out here and start.
You barbarians.
Yeah.
Yep, 51%, 53.7, 46.
That's Amendment 2.
That's Amendment 2.
Oh, sorry. 44%. It's still not far off.
53 to 46.
Yeah.
53.8, 46.2.
Right, that was pretty close, I think.
So
right.
who was, so what county was majority for it?
I feel like your typical is Columbia, probably nearby Kansas City.
Yeah, I think Kansas City was like a huge landslide for it.
Let me get, because you had what is it, the Kansas City Star, the newspaper out there.
Adrian, is it possible to, if I were to send this to you, would you be able to
through Facebook Messenger? Sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd be able to throw on the screen and for them to still be able to hear us though.
Yeah.
Yep, they're all starting to say it. It's all coming in now. They're all reporting that it's going to pass.
That's really unfortunate.
Yep. And here's the thing, folks. This is what I said. When you teach as a church, when you as a Christian practice compromising with evil, you are teaching the public that they can compromise as well.
Yep.
That's what happens. Now,
What's
here's the
wrong
thing
with
that
you
all
people?
right, here we go. Now you're gonna hear me rant now on this because now what happens? Okay, well, all those pro-life politicians that you guys were all rejoicing putting into office. Oh, guess what? Now they're gonna turn against us. The moment we say, "Hey, we can put bills in that says no, we reject this. No, we reject this." Just like what happened with Roe v. Wade, we said, "Oh, sorry, the Supreme Court doesn't make law."
What did you
So-
send it through?
Oh, sorry, I don't even think I did it yet.
Okay.
When the Supreme Court with Roe v. Wade, the pro-life in Missouri, they were sitting there going, if only the Supreme Court was overturned, we could do something about it. And then all of a sudden they do a gun law decision and Missouri goes, oh, no, we don't have to follow them on that.
Right.
Marijuana? Oh, we don't have to follow them on that. Abortion? Oh, it's the Supreme Court. Oh, they did that. How many times? And I told people, this is years ago, I said, stop following them. I said, they know it. They're BSing us. They know it. I go, they reject the Supreme Court here. But when it comes to abortion, they sit there and go, oh no, just keep us voted in. Well, if only someday it'll change. All right. And then it happened. They didn't think it would happen. And all of a sudden it happened. They're like, oh, well, we have to throw up a trigger law. And they threw up a trigger law that didn't even ban abortion. All right. And then here's the thing is, okay. And yet then every time the pro-choice came up, they would say, oh, you got to vote us in. You got to vote us in. You got to vote us in. What is it doing for us? But don't listen to me. So here's the thing is, when we go to put the bills in now, watch what happens. When we go to challenge this, it will be the pro-life movement
stopping us.
Yep. They'll be the ones going, we would love to ban abortion and put this in.
That is literally
but...
what happened with SB 775.
Yeah.
Yep. And 356.
Yep.
And even before that, okay, because we were saying reject the Supreme Court's decision. And the pro-life the whole time was saying, no, we can't. We can't. Yes, you can. They're lying. All right. And so all these pro-life people that you just celebrated going, well, we're going to have a pro-choice. It's either that or we could get a pro-choice. Oh.
Yeah. What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Yeah.
So good job. You have those pro-life people on there. Oh, guess what? Thousands of babies are still going to be slaughtered tomorrow. And here, guess what? Now, instead of us all going over to the one clinic, we're going to have to deal with the stuff in our own backyard now.
Yeah, so now we'll be more spread out and have less time in other areas. I know we already are spread thin as a church for the people that are willing to get out there.
Yeah.
Here, let me try to... Are you looking for the map or here? Do you want me to screenshot?
Yeah, or send me a link through Facebook.
I don't know if I have the link on the...
You don't know how to share links?
No, I didn't have the link. Somebody just screenshotted it to me.
Oh, okay. That's fair. So if there's anyone in chat, go ahead and give your thoughts, your concerns about what we're talking about. If you agree, disagree, we would love to hear what you have to say. Again, I can see what Twitter's got going on, what chat. It says that we have like 118 people watching on Twitter.
Yeah,
but nobody's saying anything.
Yeah.
Why you guys being cowards?
Here's the thing.
Say something.
What is there left to say? This is what happens.
Yep. It is sad. Yeah. So for those that were not aware, that were being misled when it came to the trigger laws that the pro-life organizations have put in. These trigger laws, they do say that any person who knowingly performs or induces an abortion of an unborn child is in violation of this subsection unless, read up here, unless no abortion shall be performed or induced upon a woman except in case of a medical emergency. So it's already there in the pro-life trigger laws. So all those doctors that were saying, sorry, we can't do anything, sorry, because if we try to act, then we'll get slammed with a Class B felony and our license revoked. No. Because the doctors, they have the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm. They have 2 patients. And when your child has died in the womb, yes, horrible, sad thing. But these doctors, they're fear-mongering and saying, sorry, we can't do anything because Class B felony, these trigger laws, they would say that we performed an abortion. No, the child has died. That's a miscarriage. And it is not an abortion to remove a child that has already died. That is a medical procedure to remove someone that has died from the womb of the mother. That's not an abortion. I don't care what medical billing says, like the coding aspect, because they label abortion for like everything. They label miscarriage as abortion. We've heard stories from friends and family that they were in that predicament of a miscarriage. And the doctor or the nurse mentioned, yeah, we'll mark this as an abortion. And they were terrified because they knew, no, my child was not murdered. My child died in the womb. Not because I hated my child, not because I didn't want to take care of my child, but because my child just died. And these doctors are like, well, we gotta wait. We gotta wait for all the fetal tissue to come out because we can't go in because we'll be hit with a Class B felony. Those doctors know better. And it's because of their fear-mongering that is, like, changing the minds of people, brainwashing these people to think, well, the doctors can't do anything. The doctors say. These are medical professionals. They say. So I got to trust what the medical professional says. No. Just know your laws. Granted, this is an absurd law because it doesn't criminalize abortion fully. But the law is still there. This revised statute is still there saying the doctor can remove a miscarriage. The doctor can't murder the child in Missouri, but if the child has already died, the doctor can remove the body. And so many people were brainwashed, so many people were tricked. And due to the lack of knowing the law, and also due to the fear-mongering from these doctors, I bet you if you ask these doctors like what worldview that they're coming from, they would come from a worldview that ultimately hates God.
Well, and here's the other thing is even let's say even if the doctors were pro-life on there, the pro-life doesn't help because the pro-life makes it confusing because they keep telling everybody, oh, well, we banned it. Oh, but you know, there's no criminal actions on there, but it's banned, so it is equal to murder, but nobody gets charged for it. Yeah. So that does make it confusing.
But you're not going to be charged.
Yeah, they make it. Yeah, the pro-life does that to themselves on that. That's why we need abolition bills in there, because if you read our abolition bills, it clearly defines everything. You should definitely read up. Adrian made a wonderful how-to videos. If you can look into our how-to videos on how to find our abolition bill
on YouTube for that.
And so you can go and read the abolition bill for yourself and see what you think on there.
Yeah. Those how-to videos, they also have a direct link to the PDF from the Secretary of State. So, I guess you sent that?
Yeah, I sent that over so we can show the stuff on there.
I'll get that pulled up.
Yeah, they're saying St. Louis County, St. Louis City only have 74% and 66% reported. And probably not enough votes from the rural areas to make up the ground for the remaining votes out of St. Louis. That's what they're targeting. Here's the thing. They African Americans, what is it now? They said they make up only 12% of the population.
Are you talking about across America?
Yeah, and
that
then
was like 14%.
No, I heard it went down now because with the amount of people
partially because of abortion.
Well, not only that, but because the majority of people that came over of the border on there. So they're saying, last I heard, it was 12%. Okay, and yet they said it's. I'm gonna be generous and shoot low. Okay, 12% of the population, 80% of abortions.
You're genociding yourselves.
Yeah.
But do you see what's going on? Do you see that there's something wrong?
Look at the ratio.
Look up the history of Margaret Sanger. Falling right into the trap, just like what Christians fall into the pro-life movement trap.
Yeah, the Triple K, they say thank you, Grandma, to Margaret Sanger.
Yeah.
They say you did us proud.
Oh yeah, she did meet with them, didn't she?
Yeah.
And
She
was
wrote
aligned with their
terrible
ideology.
things. Yeah, she said her whole
Ideology.
thing was she wanted to
Oh
exterminate.
yeah, what's the name of that
race.
book that she wrote that literally explains everything she's ever said into it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
calling the black people dogs.
Yeah, saying that she wants to get rid of them all.
Yeah.
Yep.
She wanted to commit genocide.
That up.
So yeah, so this map here. So this was I don't know what the dating or the timing on this, but 53.4, 46.6.
Now here, this is not to be saying
But
that,
we can see all the counties
not to be fishy.
that the majority voted no, and the counties that majority voted yes, and then the no results looks like it's blank.
Yeah, it's they brought it here. It's St. Louis, Springfield, Columbia, Kansas City. Those are your main areas of it. And apparently, Jefferson County wasn't as no as it should have been. But yeah, it's where all the college kids are. Go figure. See, this is why you gotta.
Yeah, can we? I know I can't say the word that this book is called.
Right.
But oh man, it's
Right.
by Margaret Sanger. It's the
Yeah.
N-word Project, and it's all about getting rid of black people.
Yeah. Yep.
She's got that. She's got
Falling
a couple.
for it.
Got
You're falling
books
for it.
called "Killer Angel," "The Morality of Birth Control."
There's
Right
a
to
reason
Birth
we
Control.
use that scripture every time when we start this stuff. Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 22. For my people are stupid, they know me not. They're wise on how to do evil, but how to do good, they know not. And here's the thing. This is these college kids.
Dude, those are
It's
the
the
worst.
college areas, man. They're so intelligent.
They're brainwashed, man. Those are some stupid people.
And that's where we got to hit. That when I mean hit, I better be clear. When I'm saying that is,
Oh, are you gonna go hit college children, Kanoa?
yeah, I know you got to be clear with your words and now.
Yeah.
They'll be knocking on the door and saying that.
Interact with, engage with.
We got to preach to.
Yes, preach.
Go and
Proclaim
reason
the
with.
truth. Bring the law word of God to bear.
There's a pretty big college campus over there in Hillsboro.
Yep. Yeah, that wasn't even the one. It's up in St. Louis, so it's
It's a
SLU.
SLU, yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
the one down Columbia.
Wash you.
Yeah. What's the one in Springfield? That's what do you call it?
That's Missouri State.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep. So that's it.
Yeah, they're teaching these kids. You have biology majors
That are saying that these are not humans.
Yes, you have biology majors that are saying that what is in the womb is not a human being.
Then you got the wrong.
And nobody's smart enough to go, what species is it?
But
then,
their
Professor?"
biology textbooks say human being from the moment of conception. These are biology majors appealing to a textbook, and the textbook says human being from the moment of conception, and they spin right around and say,
Give me the
"I'm a
science." Well, not
biology
that
major,
science.
not a human being."
Yeah.
They're playing like Ketanji Brown Jackson.
What?
The one in our, I don't know if it's an intro or the outro of the Reformed Rounders Table, but
yeah,
she's asked, "What is a woman?" And she's like, "I'm not a biology."
Oh yeah.
I'm
She's
not
like,
a
"Can you give me a
biologist."
definition for what a woman is?" She's like, "Well, I'm
Yeah.
not a biologist, so I can't."
Right.
It's like, "Well, you're a woman, you idiot."
Yeah.
Moronicy.
All
Is she,
all
though?
she has to do is
Maybe
stand
on
up
her
and be like,
worldview.
Look.
It's one of those. It's one of those. We're just gonna pivot around everything as much as possible because we know the answer, and she knows the answer that she is a woman. Knows exactly what a woman
Exactly.
is.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. I want
has to pander.
I want to hit on that point because Brandon was let's go Brandon got that.
Woohoo!
They know, okay? God's word says they have the law in their heart. Their conscience bears witness against them. They know God exists, Romans 1. All right, they know. But it's because they hate him.
Bill New. Hey, Bill New. Nice to see you, man. In the 1916 Project movie, they referenced black ovulating women at 3%, making 40% of the abortions. At 3%, black ovulating women at 3%, making 40% of the abortions. That is
double.
a reference from the 1916 Project movie.
Is that based on anything true?
I mean, even still, like,
well, you have to think if it's based on anything true.
That is. I mean, yeah, abortion doesn't matter. 1%.
Well, I'm making the point that,
but
if that's true,
like
in
3% to 40%, that's a wide.
Well, now we're
proportion.
at, if that's true, you're looking at 100 years later, 80% to 12%.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That okay. So 3%, 40%. That was in 1916. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm
just saying you're having double the abortions, and
Right.
you've only grown maybe 4 times in population, but you're still doubling the abortions. So you've made no headway in anything. You're actually
Right.
it's a slowly killing your guys' self off process.
Right.
Yep. Walking right into it.
And just look.
And
at
they tell you
where-
it's women's rights.
Just look at where all the major abortion clinics are. Just look at the demographic around these abortion clinics. What's a demographic? Black, Hispanic, people of color.
You have to think when we go over there to Fairview.
Poor areas.
Fairview, I would say, is more of a poor area, is it not? Ish.
Mm.
Well, in the area that we're at.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and
it's and they locate it in certain community groups is what they target.
well, yeah, they go to the low income areas
Yeah.
where like the fathers aren't around, and
Dude, and throw that map up again, Adrian. Can you do that? And hopefully people can still hear us when we're talking about that. When you
Yeah, they can.
okay on the picture. Sorry,
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, switching over.
look at that. It's in those major
My
cities.
gosh,
Yeah, so look at all the majority no's, and then you got the major cities
mm-hmm.
that are majority yes.
That's what's that thing that's done every year? Don't they change up different lines for counties and stuff like that? They can like draw up every election season.
Are you talking about like the electoral college thing, or
It might be that.
No. He's talking about I think districts and stuff like
Yeah, for districts, they can
Oh,
draw up where their
districts.
districts are, so they can put things into their favor.
Mm.
There's like this thing, which I could go find it sometime on YouTube, and I could send it to you. Maybe you could put it up here or something. But there was a thing showing that they can draw up their own districts.
Well, and here's the thing: is you see, here's the thing. There's the map of our barbaric area in our state. If you need a place to go preach, those are your areas. That's where you should be preaching at. Take that map. That's where you should be preaching at.
And again, thank you, Bill New, for that information. Appreciate it. That really does show a contrast. Like, the percentage has quadrupled, and the amount of abortions have doubled. I mean, still.
Here's what God's word says in Deuteronomy chapter 30. I'll start at verse 17. But if your heart turns away and you will not hear, but are drawn away to worship other gods and serve them, talking about ourself for Americans, I declare to you today that you shall surely perish. You shall not live long in the land that you are going over the Jordan to enter and take possession of. We're talking about the general equity of the law, so this still applies to us. I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Therefore choose life that you and your offspring may live, loving the Lord your God, obeying his voice and holding fast to him, for he is your life and the length of days, that you may dwell in the land that the Lord, that Yahweh swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and to Jacob to give them. But if you refuse to do so, okay, God talks about that. He says, see, I have set before you in verse 15 before that. See, I have set you today life and good, death and evil. If you obey the commands of the Lord your God, and I command you today by loving the Lord your God, by walking in his ways, by keeping his commandments and statutes and rules, then you shall live and multiply, and the Lord your God will bless the land. And it talks about this. Above all that, God talks about that if you refuse to do so, that he says the land itself will start to vomit you out. He will bring curses. And here's the thing, ultimately, is God will give us what we want. When we start demanding certain things, we go, no, we want the chariots of Egypt to save us from Nebuchadnezzar. We want this, we want this, we want this. Then God will give us that. It says he will hand us over.
I'll leave you to a debased mind if you look at Romans 1.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm getting at. Exactly
And
that.
then we can even look in Deuteronomy 28 for curses when we go for disobedience.
Yep.
And it's a pretty long list.
Right, exactly. And yet that's what we're wanting to choose. So, and God is not mocked. We will reap what we sow. And if that's what we want in Missouri, then we chose.
Well,
we chose.
Let's let some of the Missourians speak for themselves here, because I do not want God's curses.
Right. Well, and here's the thing but here's the shame to us too, is how long have we been silent? How long have we been cowards and hiding in our homes? How long have we not been going out and doing unto others as we would want others to do for us?
50 years.
So we've been doing this even in our own personal lives. We've been guilty of doing this, of being complacent. We've been guilty of being silent. We've been guilty of not caring for the preborn children. And so this is what it leads to. And so again, but here's the thing is, compromising got us into this situation. Compromising will not get us out of it. I don't know how many times I have to say that. That's what you guys remember me for saying that? Praise God. But Christians should not compromise with evil, not even when faced with Armageddon. All right? So we need to do what's right. We need to do things according to God's standards and stop compromising with evil, because what we are doing is we are teaching the public around us to compromise when we do so. And we need to be going out and engaging with the public and calling them to repent and calling and preaching the gospel to them, teaching them, making disciples, teaching them to observe all that God has commanded.
You know, that's where we fall short as Christians a lot of times too. I think it comes with that new covenant theology a lot of the time, where they're like, well, we don't look at the law anymore. That's done. We have the law of Christ now. We don't need to look back to that stuff. And it's like, so is the moral law no longer relevant in a general equity today? Just because Christ said he fulfilled the law, he claimed to have never abolished it. And Paul in Romans 3:31 even goes on to say, just because we're in the faith now doesn't mean we nullify the law, but we still uphold the law and we still establish it. Yeah. And so I would even encourage a lot of you Christians out there to even just like speak with other existing Christians in your church to get out here and do this. It just,
at the very least, one Saturday a month. One Saturday.
Beat it into their heads.
Like, we can't even get the church to take one Saturday. What do we expect? They're like, oh yeah, we'll fight abortion by just compromising with the pro-life movement to do it. They openly say, I don't know how many times we have to show their own position, and then they're literally standing there. They're like, the pro-life movement will do it for us. As they're literally, me and Adrian show video after video of us recording them going, and them saying, we have no intention of...
Yeah, I'll go ahead and pull it up right now.
No, don't even. I don't even want to see it. You're going to have me yell. Here's what God's word says again. I'm sorry.
You have a conniption fit.
I've already had, this is not happening for me.
He's not having a good night.
Okay, just avert your eyes, Canoa.
Here we go. Proverbs chapter 29.
Avert your eyes like the pro-choicers do to the pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where the Christians do too.
Yeah, they're worse.
Proverbs chapter 29, verse 18. Where there is no prophetic vision, the people cast off restraint, but blessed is he who keeps God's law. Here's the thing. When we're not going out to the public and we're not preaching to the public and we're not giving them that prophetic vision, they cast off restraint. That's what happens. And here's the thing. For the churches that want to reject God's law, then we have no standard. And that's how we lost with the homosexual movement.
Ooh, yeah, they called it.
And they already called that on the thing.
Yeah, they called it as a yes. At 71% reporting, 53.1 yes.
I'm still waiting to see those 3 a.m. shrieks.
Wait until tomorrow.
That's
dude, apparently Kamala, I just saw something go by. Apparently Kamala said, it's not over yet. We have to wait till 3 a.m. or something like that.
That sounds a little...
I
know, I was like...
45%.
Why do we gotta wait till 3 a.m.?
Why would you say that? But
Sounds a little sus.
Yeah, yeah. I not to be tinfoil, but I think Kamala is like a soothsayer. She can see the future.
hey, this is the most
We did it.
fair election. All right, here we go. Another one for you guys for Christians who turn away from God's law. When your church rejects that as the standard, when the church rejects that, it is for today. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 9. If anyone turns away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer is an abomination. To who? To God. So just remember that when you don't want to have God as your standard and you want to try and do your own laws, you want to try and do your own thing, that's what happens.
Yep.
Um,
Yes, we must appeal to God as the ultimate standard, not rely on our own fallacious understanding. And that's the problem with the church. That's the problem with our society. We've turned it back against God. And it's silly. It's insane that the church, when we get into discussions with people, like when we're on TikTok Live, when we're out in the culture engaging with people, and we have these people walking up to us or interacting with us on TikTok, proclaiming to be Christians, but when we are discussing how we are to know what truth is, how we are to know the standard of morality, how we are to know that the child in the womb is in fact made in the image of God, human being from the moment of conception, what do they do typically? They argue like atheists. They reason like atheists. Christians, we implore you, argue, reason like a Christian. God tells us in Romans 1, for what can be known about God is clearly perceived in everything that has been made since the creation of the world. God has made it in a way, he has made everything in a way to where it cries out, creation cries out that God exists. So that we are without excuse. For although they knew God, they did not honor him. Instead, they traded the truth of God for a lie. In their suppression of the truth, in their sin, in their unrighteousness, they worship creeping things, birds of the air, mortal man. They worship the creation. They do not honor the God that they know exists. It says, although they knew God, not just some concept, not just some ethereal idea, but God, Yahweh, the God of the Bible. Although they knew him, they did not honor him. Instead, trading the truth of God for a lie.
yeah, here's the thing. So I just was in a group chat that I was reading in, and they pointed out something. They said the only reason it didn't pass in Florida was because it had to require a 60% majority for their amendments. They had 57%. Gosh. That's why.
Wow.
That's why it's like it's not something to like. You know, what are you gonna do? Celebrate and go, yay! Like, okay, like that just shows how bad it is over there.
Right.
Like how close it was.
That's disgusting. So I want to go back really fast to talking on the law, and you know, David even says in Psalm 119 how much he loves the law.
Yeah.
You know, just how it is. Like we look at 119:97, where he just says, "Oh, how I love your law! It is my meditation all the day. Your commandments make me wiser than my enemies." God's commandments literally make us wiser than our enemies because this is his standard that we're appealing to. For they are ever mine. I have more insight than all my teachers. For your testimonies are my meditation. I understand more than the aged because I have observed your precepts. I have restrained my feet from every evil way. Let's really look at that one. God's law and his wisdom are restraining our feet from evil.
Yep.
That I may keep your word, I have not turned aside your ordinances, for you yourself have taught me. How sweet are your words to my taste. I mean, it goes on for like another 20 verses after that, but
right.
We just gotta, David is probably, aside from Christ, probably the most righteous person that we could probably look at.
Yeah.
And he loved God's law. And it kind of bothers me too that in churches anymore under this new covenant theology that I've yet to see where I go a single psalm preached on.
What's the? I'm gonna look it up, but there's a psalm or a proverb where David, like, he is crying.
I think that's Psalm.
Pleading,
It's Psalm 51.
because the people around him
Oh no, I'm thinking something different.
are trampling afoot the word of God.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking
They
of a
are
different
trampling
Psalm.
afoot the law word of God. Like, he's sobbing. He's in such dire straits. Like, he's recognizing that the people around him, people that are not just the heathens, not just the pagans, but also the people that are proclaiming that they follow God. Like, he is such a wreck.
Is it Psalm 13?
Did you just do a Google search?
Yes.
God is crying because the people trample afoot.
Yeah. Psalm 13. No, when I was referencing Psalm 51, I was using it. I was thinking of something different, but David was crying out there because he had. That was right after he had the man killed, and he took his wife, and then.
Oh yeah.
He was so remorseful that he was just pleading to God for forgiveness.
How long shall my enemy consider? I'm trying to find where it says where the people. Oh, it's not 13.
It's not.
No.
Google, you failed me. If at first you don't succeed, lie, blame, deny. Right, Adrian?
All right. Let's check all the chat stuff to make sure that there's no comments or anything or questions that we're missing out on. If you guys have any questions, now's your chance to do that, because I think we're gonna wrap it up because that's all I wanted to see was on that one. I don't care to see who's gonna
Bill
be
New.
our judgment leader.
Right.
Replying to Bill New. Okay, so he's okay. So here is the link to the movie on X.
Okay, cool.
Until it's taken away. So
thanks.
So that's the 1916 project.
Well.
Yeah.
I'll probably go watch that now.
Let me go ahead. Let me click. It's showing a clickable link, but it's not pulling anything. Oh, there it goes.
All right, what else?
Yeah. Watch the 1916 project on X today. Join the resistance. Tear down the culture of death.
Yep, but that also includes tearing down the pro-life movement because they've been standing in the way. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you should check out our page. I did a whole sermon on this. If you go to, I think it's under sermons, right?
Yes.
On the playlist. Yeah, if you go into the playlist, I preached at a church that I was invited to, and I talked about the pro-life movement and how they go against what God says. And then we show the video that we show all the time and that everybody talks about, where the pro-life movement makes a huge stand against us and says we will not be for this equal rights of protection. They go, it's not pro-life, and it goes against what we're about, and because they said they never intend to establish those equal rights of protection.
Yeah. So yeah,
they say that, and they signed a letter, and over 70 plus pro-life organizations are signed it and are for it, and the other ones that didn't sign, they voiced and said, "Hey, we didn't sign. We weren't
like
able to sign."
Campaign Life Missouri.
Yep.
Sam Lee.
Yep. Repent.
So with that, just go to YouTube, go to the playlist sermons. Again, that's Reform Labs, our YouTube channel. It'll be underneath the sermons playlist.
We'll upload it to X too. We'll work on getting
that would be
that
a
up
quick reference. That would be a quick go-to to find the video where Sam Lee says 70 pro-life organizations and even Campaign Life Missouri do not want to fully end abortion. They don't want to criminalize women because they view women as victims. Not as like a first victim, because they would admit that the child in the womb is a victim. But they would classify the woman who murders her own child as a second victim. They would say, because they would even agree, that abortion is not banned in any states. Because they recognize that a mom can have a pill A mom can order a pill, just a few clicks online, have it shipped to her house within roughly 5 days. She can take that abortion pill. She can go to a pro-life legislator. She can go to a pro-life senator, governor. She can go to a pro-life lobbyist, pro-life organization. She can walk up to them and have in her hand, this is an abortion pill. I hate my child. I recognize what is in my womb is in fact human being. And I do not want to have that child in my womb any longer. She takes that pill, glass of water, nothing happens to her. She is, in their eyes, still a victim.
Yep.
Even after she's proclaimed she wants to murder her child in the womb, she's still a victim.
And you saw we posted up how many videos of women dancing, and they're like, this is how many abortion that I'm getting and stuff. They go into the clinic, they come out, give us the finger, and they say, they said, just murder that effing baby.
Yep.
So many times we've seen it. So many times we filmed it. We filmed women multiple times doing this stuff.
Victim.
It's, yeah,
Okay.
but they're victims on their side. But no, that's why we got to appeal to what God says. All right, if there's no other, real quick, double check, any comments? So you guys had a chance. If not, go ahead and comment. We can always talk about it later on. If you guys have a topic that you guys want us to cover and to go in more detail over, feel free to comment and let us know. A huge thank you to all the people who went out and street preached and fought
you guys
out
are
there.
awesome.
Thank you guys for doing that. It's the rest of the Christians that did not join us out there. There's no reason of why there was maybe 3 of us outside polling places, and we had to hop to different polling places.
Yeah.
We
how
had
many
plenty
churches?
of
People saying, I appreciate you being out here. And
yeah,
we showed gratitude back, but we were also thinking, okay, like, sure, we don't know exactly what's going on in their lives.
Right.
But if you were free to stand with us, even if you could have spared 5-10 minutes.
And it's not even that. This, like I said, what do I know? I'm just a silly Hawaiian.
You don't know politics, Kanoa.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that one. That's another famous Mary Coleman quote. That I just don't understand politics. No, I do. Here's the thing. Okay, this should have been dealt with. The church should have been out preaching months ago.
Yes.
Months ago.
Not just one church. Not
We should
just
have been
two.
to the college campuses all over. That's what it should have been dealt with, and they didn't. And so that's what happens, and you're gonna see that effect. Now, may God have mercy on us, and that even in the middle of this stuff, that we can still come back, triumph, and conquer. Lord willing, we see it in our day. And I still have, call me crazy, but I'm still hopeful that we'll see abortion end in our lifetime. Now, but it's not going to be through compromising, and it's not going to be through silence. So, church, you need to get active out there at the very least. Anybody can give up one Saturday a month to go rescue babies. Hello, if you were in the situation as the children in the womb, you would want somebody to do that for you.
Right.
Therefore,
Or if
go
this
and do
was
it
even
for
your
others.
own child.
All right, another huge thanks to Let's Go Brandon for being here. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll definitely have you back and joining us to talk about more things in the future. Adrian, thank you as well, and thank you to my church. I appreciate you guys so much for your guys' efforts out there.
Yes.
But trust me when I
That was the wrong one.
and it's getting late.
Yes.
But here's the thing: is a message for you guys is that we're not going to do this by compromising. I've seen this too many times. Mark my words, okay? That it's not going to happen this way. All right, don't fall for the trick that we need these group of people to go and battle. We need this evil to go battle the other evil. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. It's not going to be established. It's only going to be done God's way and how God says. So I encourage you guys to trust that. All right. Well, that's all that I have for us. So pray for us. Pray that God does not destroy us as he has every right to do so because of what we're doing. But pray continues to show us mercy, and then pray with us. And if you need help, contact us. If you need help with your church, we will go out with you. We've stood out multiple weekends with other churches to get them started on there. We will do that for you as well. So contact us. Yeah. All right. Appreciate you guys. God bless.
So let us say Government by the retarded.
The administration will issue a letter warning public schools across the country that they should not discriminate against transgender children, that they should be allowed to go to the restroom and locker room of the gender they identify with.
Of the retarded.
We're making good progress designing body armor that fits women properly, tailoring combat uniforms for women, creating maternity flight suits, and updating requirements for their hairstyles.
For the retarded.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
I can't.
So
I'm not a biologist. In my work as a judge, and I look at the law and I decide.
Democracy cannot be the highest possibility man can attain.